Jacob with Superchips here, and it is finally arrived. We are finally ready to release our flash tuning for the 2.0 liter 2018 through 2020 Jeep JL applications. So our Flashpaq has obviously been our leading product for years, and we're finally got it ready for that 2-liter e-torque and non-e-torque applications. So for you 2-liter guys with that 4-cylinder in your Jeep Wrangler, here it is, Flashpaq's ready. Obviously in the 2015 and newer Jeeps, it does require a PCM unlock, which is something that we've taken care of, made the process as easy as we possibly can for you guys. So when you get onto the website and order your new Flashpaq for your 2-liter, you're gonna place the order and you're gonna be forwarded to an online form that you can fill out to get all the information we need so that we can make sure we get you sent an unlocked PCM that you can swap into your vehicle. Once that PCM is swapped, you'll be able to return your original to us as a core, and you'll be on your way with your new flash tuning. So when you pick up your Flashpaq, what are you gonna get in the box? This is a super simple product. Flashpaq has been an industry leader for quite a few years. So you obviously get your handheld Flashpaq device. For the 2-liter application, 2018 through 2020, we also include your bypass module that'll be plugged in under the dash and left there permanently. We've got our USB update cable, a couple of stickers, and obviously our instruction manual for the Flashpaq itself. But let's talk about the tuning for the 2-liter application specifically. So when our engineers set out for this 2-liter, there was a couple things we had in mind. After driving the factory vehicle, it actually is quite peppy. It feels really good around town. But if you've driven one very long, you've noticed that that power curve feels really peaky. You can roll into that throttle and there's nothing. You get some lag from that turbocharger, and then all of a sudden all that power and torque comes on and it runs really well. So we wanted to focus on improving that overall drivability. How can we make this engine transmission perform better at a lower RPM range where you can get that power and torque curve to come on smoother? How can we apply that power curve so that it's a little nicer for a daily driver, better for commuting, better for stop and go traffic, and better for off-roading as well? So our engineers spent a lot of time trying to manipulate the boost curve, manipulate that map sensor so that we can get the best performance out of the low RPM range while adding some performance up top as well. That factory turbocharger is already making a bunch of boost in this stop application. So we didn't want to just increase boost everywhere and that was the end of it. We spent a lot of time manipulating that curve so we could have that power and torque where we wanted. In this specific application, we're picking up 20 horsepower and 25 foot-pound of torque at peak. While that doesn't sound like much, we're not really focusing on the peak-to-peak pickups. We were able to drop that peak power where this factory system makes its peak horsepower at, say, 4,900 RPM. We were able to drop that to 4,600 RPM. The torque we were able to drop from 3,700 RPM to 3,300 RPM. So you feel that peak a lot sooner in the RPM range, which is nice for drivability. But what we really want to focus on is the low RPM performance. So let's say 3,000 RPM, you're going to spend a lot of time driving around town at your low RPM range. We're not wide open throttle very often, so we wanted to focus on that meat of the power curve where you're driving most of the time. So at 3,000 RPM, our particular test vehicle picked up 65 horsepower at 3,000 RPM and 90 foot-pound of torque at 3,000 RPM. So that turbocharger is making boost sooner, you're feeling it sooner, and you've got so much more power in that power curve down low where you use it, where you need it. So that's something you're gonna feel in stop and go traffic. That's something you're gonna feel on the highway when you're downshifting and gonna pass somebody. You know, that low end and mid range is a lot stronger than the factory setup. So the tuning really makes a noticeable difference in how nice these Jeeps are to drive. For you guys that spend a lot of time off-road, we've obviously continued on with our Jeep tuning structure, and we've added a specific crawl tune where we've been able to manipulate that throttle pedal. We've been able to manipulate that boost curve so that you have a nice, easy, drivable tune that works well in loose, hard to get traction kind of dirt, rock crawling, whatever it might be. We can really fine tune how that Jeep drives when you're off-road. The Flashpaq is going to be offered with an 87 octane tune for you guys that are just looking for your peak horsepower and peak fuel mileage. That's a nice daily driver tune that should net some good some good improvements in both drivability and fuel mileage. Obviously, we've got a 91 octane tune and then our high performance 93 octane tune. All of those will be user selectable. Along with the Flashpaq, you get all the other features we've consistently offered for Jeep. The ability to adjust for tire size up to a 41 inch, adjust for your gear ratio up to a 538 gear. So if you're running this one with a 35s or putting some 37s on that 2 liter, you know, swapping to a 488 or even a 513 won't be a problem with this Flashpaq. We can adjust for that in the Flashpaq tuner. Make sure we keep your speedometer reading correctly. We're going to be able to adjust your Tpms. We can change that factory threshold setting. We can actually even disable your Tpms. We have the ability to enable or disable your auto start-stop function, which a lot of guys find frustrating in their daily driver. So we'd be able to turn off that auto start-stop system so that you don't have to worry about that anymore or pushing any buttons to deactivate it. So that's a super nice feature that a lot of Jeep guys can appreciate. Obviously, we still have control over the daytime running lights, transfer case. On the Rubicons, we can control sway bar, that kind of stuff. So it is feature packed, loaded with all of our previous options for the Jeep. And then for you guys that already have a Superchips product for your 2 liter, if you've already picked up our Flash Cal, don't forget that you can convert that Flash Cal to the full-blown Flashpaq to get your tuning with just an online update. So you can plug your Flash Cal into the computer, upgrade it to the Flashpaq. Obviously, you'll need to get the unlocked PCM, which we can help you out with, but you don't have to toss that Flash Cal in the garbage and order your new Flashpaq. We can upgrade what you have without spending a whole bunch of money on something brand new. So if you want to learn more about the 2 liter application, you can check us out at superchips.com.